Dr. Siri Ramaji is going to present her paper on the Maya and Lila of Lord Vishnu's dance.
ಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸಿರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆದಿಗುರುಗಳು ಅವ್ರ ಅಮ್ಮನೇ. ಹಾಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಆದಿಗುರು ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇದು ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನೃತ್ಯ ಮತ್ತು ವಿಷ್ಣು ವೈಷ್ಣವಿಸಂ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಈ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಹಾಡು ಹಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ರಂಗ ಅದ್ಭುತದಿಂದಲಿ ಕೈಗಳು ಫಲಿಯಲಿ ಆದಿರ ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೇ ನಂದು ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಿ. ರಂಗನ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವನ ಆಡಿದ ಲೀಲೆ, ಅವನ ಆಡಿದ ನರ್ತನದ ಮೇಲೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತೃಭಾಷಾ ತೆಲುಗು ಕೂಡ. సో ఎందరో మహానుభావులు అందరికీ వందనము. అదే ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ అందరూ మహానుభావులు అందరికీ వందనము ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. So anyhow, the Maya and Lila of Lord Vishnu's dance, and primarily my quest in this is because I am a performer of Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi dance styles. I've learned traditionally in the Guru Shishya Parampara under well-established Natyamars in the Bharatanatyam style, and dance has always been for me a window to understanding the world. And why movement is made or created in a certain way has always been my quest. Not just that we actually in our paramparas, we always assign importance to our gurus. Guru Bhyo Namaha, and whatever they teach, we take it. But our gurus do not just encourage us to learn the dance, but they also teach us creativity within this tradition, as they call it, or parampara. So the dance of Vishnu in its various, so I'm going to read a bit, and then if I'm running out of time, I'll just skip some few slides and make it short so that my other colleagues on the panel are not tortured by lack of time. So, and I know you have gone through a long day. Even my mind is messed up with so many presentations, so I hope I stick to my own and not wander off. Anyhow, my name is Siri. And my husband's name is Ramaswamy, and it's shortened, that's why, to Sri Rama, but my name is Siri. The dance of Vishnu in his various avatara or incarnations is visualized as Maya or Lila, as seen in both textual and oral traditions. The most commonly associated words with the idea of play or theatre, and in that context with dance with respect to Vishnu and his incarnations, are Vishnu Maya and Krishna Lila. In the Brahma Sutras, Maya or Lila is explained to be the result of the joy that emanates from within and is compared to that of a man who is happy and on awakening from sleep dances. Going back to the earliest text associated with dance, which is the Natya Shastra, the ritualistic opening of the performance space is done with Purvaranga. In the Purvaranga, many deities are invoked to consecrate different parts of the stage, and it starts with the worship of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. The Sutradhara goes to the east and goes with 3 steps associated with the 3 deities. The first is the worship of Shiva, Rudra, with the right leg raised, indicating the male aspect of nature. And the second step with partially raised leg, which indicated the meat of Brahma. And the last was for Vishnu with the raised left leg, which indicated the female aspect of divinity. So it's interesting to see that in Natya Shastra itself, Vishnu was associated with the female aspect. These three steps are also attributed to the legend of Vishnu conquering the world with three steps, that is Trivikrama, as you know. It is also interesting to note that the idea of Vishnu representing the female aspect of divinity is seen reflected not only in the Amrita Mantram mentioned in the Natya Shastra, but also staged symbolically in the pre-performance rituals. The Sutradhara, who performs the Purvaranga, is identified as Brahma. So the Sutradhara itself is called Brahma. Is identified. He is not called Brahma particularly. He is identified. His assistant as Vishnu, and the Vidishaka is identified with the Asuras. So some scholars see that the vada or the conversation happening between the assistant, who is supposed to be Vishnu, and the Vidishaka, who is the Asura, it is seen that this conversation is actually a battle of words, where the assistant proves his point against the Vidishaka who is making fun of different things. So it's very interesting to see that there itself in play the idea of Vishnu is represented in Natya. If Natya Shastra was influenced by Shaivism, later commentators on the Natya Shastra, according to Dr. Raghavan, were influenced by Krishna and Vishnu. Describing a dance in springtime performed by Nartakis, at the end of the dance a shloka or hymn is sung, saying that the dance originated from the movements of the Devas when they danced with joy on getting Amrita from Vishnu during the churning of the ocean. This is clearly seen in Nartana Nirnaya, a 16th century text which is dedicated to Nartaka and his or her ensemble of musicians. This treatise is written by Pandarika Vithala, who was a Smartha Vaishnava Brahmin who was a devotee of Vithala of Pandarpura. Nartana Nirnaya departs from the usual practice of crediting Shiva with dance. Vishnu is said to create dance by the mere movement of his eyebrows, which makes the dancers Maya dance. Lakshmipati or Vishnu is said to make Maya dance in the form of his incarnations Vamana and Narasimha. Everybody bows down to Maya and her Lord Vishnu, who make or enact this play of the world, and Krishna is also invoked for his blessings. He is described as being immersed in the sport of rasa dance. So this is a very interesting text which attributes dance itself instead of Shiva to Vishnu, and how Vishnu creates this dance is also very interesting through his Maya Shakti. So the shloka is here. Shri Lakshmipati Chitta Vaibhava Sakrit Bhrukshepa Sanyanya Vishwakaravati Mahagunavati Maya Nati Nrityati Tam Ko Nartayatiha Vamana Nrisimhadi Swarupairalam Tam Vande Akhila Loka Natakam Maya Maya Cha Mayapati Nishan Yati Layopetam Varna Bhodai Prupashritam Rasa Krida Mayam Natva Vakshi Nartana Nanyam. After saying this, he says that I am going to talk about what the dancer or his ensemble should do. Apart from this, skipping a few things, Vishnu is pictured as in his Yoga Nidra, and in spontaneous imaginations or gestures, he creates the play of this world. So he is often described as an actor, Mahanata, and his role in society is defined by his Lila sportive activities. Again, Vishnu is also thought of in the Agni Purana as being Narasimha, and he is described in his, ferocious aspect, well described in Annamacharya's composition Kadiri Singhudu Stambhamana Vedale. In that, Palalochanamu Bhayadogramukamu, Jwalamai Kesaramu, what all the things. And here in Agniburana, he's in Raudra, but the word that interests me because I'm a dancer is he's also told to be dancing. Dancing just like Shiva in Rudra Tandava. Like, so he also, though we don't associate Narasimha often enough with Tandava, here in many places he is thought of as dancing the Raudra Tandava. Again, Narayana or Vishnu is also thought of in Vaishnava texts as the unchanging Purusha, and he possesses Shakti which is similar to him, and they are, this Shakti's will or vibration creates the dance of the universe. Again, another popular visual of Vishnu dancing is Mohini, which you all know, Mohini. And from that idea of Mohini, the classical dance style of Mohiniyattam has emerged. So, then there are other kshetras or, associated with Vishnu. So, we have this also in the Brahminiya Chitra Karma Shastra, and it is referred to as the Navinita Nritta or butter dance. So, there is a specific shloka, Agama shloka, describing how this image should be sculpted. Usually you have Kaliya Mardana, but this Navinita Nritta Krishna also is very interesting in terms of dance. And in a very similar posture. I talked about Mohiniyattam also. And of course, Kaliya Mardana dance. I'm going to skip a few pages in my paper, but come to different, in my paper I talk also about the mention of Krishna and Vishnu and the dances in different texts like Shilapadigaram, etc., where there are references to Krishna dancing. But coming to my own interest and for example, in dance, the Samapada Sthana is often used, it's used to show tranquility, like in yoga when you stand. And this tranquility is, and the meaning of that movement of not moving or having the potential of great movement. It's both. It's not that you're passive. It is that you have the potential to move, and that is Vishnu's stance. He is always shown in this Samapada or the tranquil posture, but the ability to have the potential of kinetic movement at any point of time. So it's interesting to see for me as a dancer and one who studies movement of how these postures have been adapted into dance, performative traditions and in sculptural traditions, and how they mean more than just sculpting a figure and just showing somebody in a posture. That posture itself has meaning, just like in yoga and other texts. So even if you see, this is a, we were showing, this is a Bharatanatyam presentation and we are showing Vithala. So he is also shown in that Samapada position. But interestingly, there is another position in dance called the Vaishnavasthana. And in that, the leg is in the Samapada position and the other leg is in the Trayasha position, like this. And that is also called the Vaishnavasthana. Now we don't, when teachers, Natunars used to teach us, they would say, assume the Vaishnavasthana. They didn't know where it came from, that this is a Vaishnavasthana, but we were told that whatever, if you hold Rama posture, you assume the Vaishnavasthana. So that is how, whether it was my Kuchipudi Acharya, who was well versed in the Natya Shastra and other things, he would tell, Vaishnavasthana you take, and that would be the correct position for, so the association of a particular sthana with, it's a particular movement. Even standing still is a movement. It's not just, so for me that is very interesting and requires greater in-depth research on why this particular movement was chosen for this deity and what potential it shows or what philosophical aspect it shows of the deity. So that's what's interesting to me. Like, why not some other posture? Similarly, for Krishna, always swastika is adopted in the Venugopala stance. So always the foot is crossed like this and shook. So, yes. Vishwavandita Mukunda. So even in Narayana Tirtha mentions that in his Vityasta Padaravinda Vishwavandita Mukunda. So it's in the one of the early Taranginis, which is taught to students of, it's called Balagopala Tarangam, and towards the end, before the dancer takes the plate, the famous Kuchipudi is like iconic for the plate, standing on the plate and dancing. You start, and even, I'm glad you pointed out, sir, that Vityasta Padara and Vinda, when we start, my guru, we just learned from our gurus, we didn't ask many questions, and now I think about it, we start with actually the swastika pada. Though we are not showing Krishna, we start with so like I said, the posture is a potential for the movement. So we don't say Vityasta Padana but stand there. It is not a lecture. It is the poetry of art is woven into the philosophical background with which, so that Vityasta Pada is meant for that. So for me, that is my quest. So it's still an ongoing quest, and so this is the Vityasta Pada. We associate Krishna with this, but we never, at least for a long time, I never asked. I don't know if you all asked, why swastika and how it came into popular consciousness. So whenever you show Krishna, you show with this. Of course, the Agama texts also prescribe this, but besides that, it's also interesting that Natyacharyas also continue with this. So there are many Vaishnava performing traditions, Bhagavata Mela, Krishnattam, Ram Lila, and I've talked a lot about all this in my paper. So Dashavatari in the coastal Maharashtra, and Satriya, of course, Kuchipudi, and this is that famous iconic keeping the tambal and the pot on the head, and then Manipuri. All these are, so having looked through all this, and of course the Dashavatara by Gita Govinda of Jayadeva, which is performed, and we also have Dashavatara shlokas in Abhinay Darpana, where it says, Matsya Hastam Darshetva. This is quite common in dance classes, so I'm not going to belabor my point, but having looked through all this, I'll quickly come to what I would say for me is the most interesting part of the paper, there are narrative performative traditions, and I have put these in the most the typologies that I could think of in this. I'm sure there may be more, but this is what I have experienced as a performer. So one is the Nayika Kirtana. So there are compositions which show the Nayika Bhava to Sakhiye in the Jalam, Yenadi, and then Swamiye Varasolladi, a famous Dandayadapani Pillai composition, where she asks, please bring Narayana or Vishnu to me, and she is a Virahotkanthita Nayika. So compositions like that, and after that we have Nama Sankirtanas. Nowadays, though Tyagaraja didn't write for dance, he's been used extensively by dancers all over to this. So Dasa Sampradaya also has contributed to the dance language. And then we have Patra Kirtana. So whether it's Andal and Tirupavai or Meera Bhajans, the dancer assumes the role of the patra, whichever she becomes Andal, or she becomes even in performances the dancer will dress up as Meera or dress up as Andal and perform these patra kirtanas. And also this would include the Bhagavata traditions, and then of course the Arya Seva. This is Seva Kirtana. Arya Seva. Then of course we have Samuha Kirtana. So like the Varkari Sampradaya, or even I would say even the Rasa, Dandiya Ras of Gujarat, that is also, it is around based on this Rasa of Krishna and Radha. So that is also a Kirtan, a Samuha Kirtan. And interestingly, when I see, you can see the Ringan of the Varkari Sampradaya, which was talked about. And going on, I would say I would conclude soon, and this thing in the paper is that one should study the kinesthetics of why Vaishnava traditions of dance have a certain kind of meaning. This little bit of this has been done by Dr. Srimati Kanakrele, who is no more now, but she was a legendary Mohiniyattam exponent, Padma Bhushan, and she actually in her analysis of Mohiniyattam that she practiced, she talks about the Andalika movement, meaning the movement, circular movement, or so she talks about and it starts from the center and going into the back. So the dancer faces and even all the movements are circular. Similarly, I find that when I dance, because I dance both, I find when I dance Kuchipudi, again my inner soul, when it's connected with what my acharya taught, it is circular. Everything in Kuchipudi emerges and goes into a circle. Similarly, I feel that whether it's Varkari Sampradaya or the Dandiya Ras, it's again circular. And again, everybody knows circle has no hierarchy. Circles tend to make everybody the same and puts you on the same plane. There's no upper and lower. So I wonder whether these movements, and I think intentionally these movements came from the philosophical inputs of Vaishnava thought and literature. Because all these people who created these movements were Bhagavatas. They were knowledgeable in Natya Shastra and in their own philosophical traditions of Vaishnava cult. So from center to circumference and back, and Andalika to circular movements. So that is my entire paper, and if you all have the time and interest, please do read it. And with that, I conclude my talk. Thank you very much.
Questions?
So my gurus are Srimati Komalavalli Mani, who was a direct disciple of Meenakshi Guru, Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai. And I also learned under Guru T.V. Soundarajan, who was a disciple of Muthukumarappa Pillai, and Kalaimamani T.S. Kadirvelu. He also taught me on the rhythm aspects of dance. My Kuchipudi Acharya is C.R. Acharya, Ramchandra Acharya. Thank you.
We are lucky to have you, Sriramaji. Every time we have a wonderful dancer and also a researcher in you.